Where's the pom-poms?
To say. Look. Now. Hey, Patriot fam. How's everybody doing today? Yeah. So, no, I'm not turning my mic up.
Can she put it up?
Fix it. Y'all fix it, because I'm struggling this morning. I literally just walked in here because I've been sitting in traffic because Florida's full.
Oh my God, hold on. Wait, we can't even go to... This is what happens when you're live. Is that better?
Is it?
I don't want to get too personal in this area, this region. I'm just saying those rumors, and I just don't want to...
We started the show unhinged already.
And we look like candy corn.
Oh my God.
I don't like candy corn.
We're not high fructose corn syrup. We're actual raw sugar. There you go.
Good morning, Patriot family. How are you? Oh, wow. All right.
Full. That's all I'm saying. It's just full.
She sends me a picture of the traffic.
Like, literally, we're full. We're full. They're expanding roads in the middle of the day, and then no one knows how to drive. It's like there's 16 car accidents, and I'm trying to figure out why. How are you in the fast lane going 65, and we're all in the slow lane going 80? I don't get
Allie,
it.
why are you going 80?
Look.
And the shoulder's not the right lane. We love you and welcome to Open Mic. Hey, you know what you signed up for when you logged in. You know us when you join us live. This is why we do live, because we kind of want to see what the world throws at us.
And hello to all of our new subscribers and our new followers. Thank you guys so much. And thanks for all of our Spotify listeners. Yeah, we appreciate it.
It was just yank the Band-Aid off. If you're not already, please follow us at Real Allie Leger, at Michelle Posey, and at Open Mic Ladies on all social media platforms. We had some fun time on Tuesday, obviously celebrating Charlie Kirk's birthday. We'll get to some video of that later. Speaking off cuff, really, at a couple of events. It was a lot of fun. And really, it's hard to believe that it's been a month later.
Yeah.
And we're just, I don't know. Time has flown by. What I appreciate, Allie, is that it's not like we're moving on like it's business as usual. I think we all have a different why as to what we're doing. Everybody said it on Tuesday at the celebrations. I've heard other conservative influencers say that it felt like he's one of us, and so it's something that you do take terribly personal. But he did receive the Medal of Freedom. Take a quick look at this. Oh, yeah, we should. How about we open the mic? How about we do that? Let's go. Let's open the mic, y'all. Lord.
Taking back our freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do you do when they try to cancel you? MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love God, but in Trump I trust. November 5th, he gon' ride with us. Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor Maggie-ville, the RNC King. 2024 freedom gon' ring. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat.
Can we start over, Patriot fam? Can we redo the morning?
Here's the thing. We've been at this for a while. I'm at almost 2 years.
Yeah, I don't think we're professional at this point. I don't know.
I don't think and there goes the text message. We are okay. We're okay. We're just a little frazzled. Have you ever started your morning where it feels like there is a force coming against you, full?
Oh my.
No, we don't get a do-over. It's live.
I know. It's great. I love it. Y'all love it. That's why you're here.
Go live, they said. What's the worst that can happen?
No, don't ask that. Please don't. Don't ask because then we'll be shown. What's the best that can happen moving forward? Thank you.
Oh, it's so hot in here. Okay, we're going to start this off again. Let's talk.
Y'all know y'all said it in your heads. Don't think I'm the only one. That's Nellie's fault.
I look at the screen, all I see is candy corn. It's not okay. Let's roll this. Let's roll this first clip, please.
The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Charles James Kirk. The United States honors him as a martyr for truth and freedom.
Charles James Kirk was a visionary and one of the greatest figures of his generation. With hard work and joyful spirit and endless enthusiasm and determination, Charlie grew Turning Point into the largest conservative youth organization in the entire country. In his final moments, Charlie testified to the greatness of America and to the glory of our Savior, with whom he now rests in heaven. As I said, on the day that he was assassinated, Charlie Kirk was a martyr for truth and for freedom. So we hold his memory in our hearts forever. Every single day of this administration, we will continue to carry out the mission for which he lived.
Today we're gathered not only to celebrate Charlie's birthday, but to honor a truth that he gave his entire life to defend, and that's freedom. I can say with confidence, Mr. President, that you have given him the best birthday gift he could ever have. Charlie's life was proof that freedom is not a theory, it's a testimony. He showed us that liberty begins not in the halls of power, but in the man of a heart surrendered to God. To live free is the greatest gift, but to die free is the greatest victory. Happy birthday, my Charlie. Happy Freedom Day. God bless you.
Not a try.
I mean,
that was so hard to watch without bawling like a baby.
It certainly puts things into perspective.
Absolutely.
And there was a there's a video, and I don't think we have it on our list to show, so I'll just tell you about it. Our Vice President JD Vance was on a show talking about how a friend of his, a mutual friend they have, was talking and saying he was on the phone with Erica just the other day, and like 6 times while they were on the phone, the little girl was asking, "Where's Daddy? Where's Daddy?" And you know, anybody who's lost a loved one, I mean, we all are familiar with that kind of grief, but it's different when they're that little and they can't understand, and it's just, I don't know. Every time I think that we're kind of we've got our footing and we're trudging along, you know, full steam ahead in honor of those who went before us, like Charlie Kirk and others, then it kind of just gets you a little gut check. Like,
And that is so hard on little girls
oh God,
to not have their day. Oh, we're not going to.
we're not doing that. Well, we've had every other emotion this morning. You can imagine we've been anger and rage and all the things.
Literally want to flip tables this morning, and cry at the same time.
And
What is going on?
I'm just going to say, I got one text from you and I was like, oh, it's going to be a good day.
Did you? Oh, no.
The first one I got, I was like, yeah, that's about right. When you know your bestie just by the tone of the text. If it's all caps, if somebody messages you in all caps, it's a different
I don't
type of
think I
morning.
meant to. I'm so sorry.
I love you. I'm like, shouty, are we?
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, speaking of shouty, we were at a photo shoot, and I had the breaking news, the press conference from the White House that President Trump
That
had.
was funny.
They're like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "News." So Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, others within the intelligence community gathered for a 3 p.m. press briefing yesterday. There's a few takeaways that I really want to make sure we touch on today, Allie. One being the statistics on crime, and I'll just let Kash Patel tell it better. Take a listen.
It's a 3-month span. You had 8,700 arrests of violent criminals. You had 2,200 firearms seized off the streets permanently to safeguard our communities. You had 421 kilograms of fentanyl seized. Just to put that in perspective, that's enough to kill 55 million Americans alone.
Jeez.
You had 45,000 kilograms of cocaine seized. And thanks to our Department of Justice partners, you had 2,100 indictments in 3 months, from June to September alone. Mr. President, that in and of itself would be historic for a 4-year presidency. You did that in 7 months because you let good cops be cops, and you partnered us with the right people, the Department of Justice, to put the handcuffs on and bring them to court and put them in prison. And if that weren't enough, when you look at the year, for the entire 7-month period that we're talking about here, if you look at the past 4 years of the Biden administration, 16,000, 17,000, 15,000, 15,000. That's the number of arrests year over year of violent felons in this country for the Biden administration. Mr. President, in 7 months, you have 28,600 arrests of violent felons in just 7 months alone because of your leadership and the dedication of the men and women at the FBI who want to go out there and do the job they were prevented from doing because that department used to be weaponized and politicized. And this is what happens when you take out the fangs of weaponization. This number is historic by every metric. 28,000 people have been arrested, violent felons alone. And then when you go over there and look at some of these charts, if you don't mind, I'll just hop over here. Look at the metrics.
I'm loving all the props.
For the homeland.
I'm a visual learner.
Mr. President, during your administration, the FBI has found and located 5,400 children. That is a 30% increase year to date over the last administration. Violent crimes against children arrests alone are up 10%. Gang arrests are up 210% in the last 7 months alone. And transnational organized crime, which Stephen Miller has been a great partner in, is up over 12% alone. These numbers are historic just as a snapshot. But just so people don't think we're focusing on violent crime alone, the national security mission, Mr. President, under your leadership has never been stronger.
Right?
I am so excited. This administration is fabulous. Like, I don't know, if you're not, listen, you have to pay attention. This is great stuff.
And listen, as it turns out, in order to make America great again, you have to start with the streets of America.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love. This is part of, Washington, D.C. We saw it happen when they brought in the National Guard. Turns out the mayor there, Democrat that I don't agree with on anything, but she's come out now and said, thanks, President Trump, because now it's to a level where our local law enforcement can manage it. Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing it happen in Portland. We're seeing it happen, they're saying in Nashville. There's areas down here in the South, areas in Chicago. Chicago's near and dear to my heart. Listen, I have family that are in a part of the police department there, and our men and women that serve, just like in the military, that serve in police forces across the country, they want to do their job. There's nothing worse than signing up for something that puts you in harm potentially, and then your government cripples you and doesn't allow you to be able to do your job.
That's your Portland PD.
Listen, there have been good people in the Portland Police Department that are saying, I'm not doing anything with Antifa anymore.
Of course.
But there you have it, Kash Patel talking about the crime statistics. He's not talking about over a 4-year term, guys.
This is 7 months.
Yes.
7 months. And this is only possible through President Trump's leadership. Strength, peace through strength. He means what he says. If you look up the definition of integrity, it should be a picture of President Trump. And I really like.
With a cape on.
Right. Well, no capes because they get caught. So no capes. I'm sorry. What? Shh. I watched Incredibles with my kids. No capes.
I love you. Oh my God.
But I really like the phrase that stuck out to me from Kash Patel was, this is what happens when you rip the fangs out of weaponization. And I just had this visual, and I can't wait to create this visual and put it on a dang t-shirt.
A t-shirt, more swag. Well, he also talked about the 5,400 children in just 7 months that he's been. So how do we legitimately lose 5,400
We've
children?
lost what was it, 400,000?
440,000. During the course of the Biden administration. Those are people, unaccompanied minors, largely that came across our southern border, unaccompanied. So we can't ever imagine what that's like to be in a Central America or South America country and have the style of life be so awful that you actually sell your child to be able to go across the southern border to think that there's going to be a better life in America. Little do you know.
Can you imagine the trauma that creates for a child lifelong? Your parents sold you for a better life, and then you're just
and the place for a better life lost you.
Right. It is traumatic, and trauma is just.
Listen, we covered this. We took just a little bit of off the top. We showed you guys this earlier a couple weeks ago. You need to watch your Department of Children and Family Services in your states, DCF, DCFS, whatever they're calling it these days. Because now what we're fearing is that these unaccompanied migrants, unaccompanied immigrant children, these young people, are now being fostered into the foster care system to the tune of your tax dollars. Now, we love that we're finding these children, but Allie, I don't know that the solution is to now put them into a system that already can't maintain the children that they have to give services to. Our Department of Children and Family Services and our foster care system has been underfunded, underappreciated. We've got issues already. Now we're gonna just pile that in more with these unaccompanied minor children. Watch what's happening in your state. Ask your state legislators the question. Ask what's happening within your departments.
There's so many crippled.
I mean, I haven't gotten an answer here in Florida, but keep asking the questions.
Institutions that need to be revitalized, and more money needs to be put into them, more resources, because it's almost been made impossible, really, for Americans to foster and adopt children.
Yeah.
It's been really difficult. There's been a lot more red tape for Christian families to adopt and foster children, but you can be gay or transgender and adopt and foster a child like this. So there needs to be some dissolving of red tape in order for these children to actually go to loving, caring homes.
And let's not forget, now there are areas of the country, like in California, where you can have your own biological child, and if you don't affirm them feeling like they're a cat today,
vaccinate them,
or you don't want them to chop off perfectly good body parts at the age of 13, if you don't affirm every single feeling that child has, the state is trying to, especially in California, they're trying to pass legislation right now that they can take your child from you. So that is
wild.
Something to think about, guys. I do want to talk a little bit more about what Trump said at the press conference. The subject of tariffs came up. Now, keep in mind, the reason why we saw him jump the pond overseas to the Middle East, solve a 3,000-year-old situation going on where they couldn't have peace ever. He gets everybody, including all the Arab nations, together to negotiate peace, signs it, hops back over here, and then what does he find out? The one thing that allowed him to do that, really, being able to hit countries where it hurts the most with tariffs, financially, pulling their purse strings. That's why people negotiate with Trump, because he hits them where it hurts most. He comes back to this country and finds out that these woke judges are now trying to hinder him from doing exactly that, from putting tariffs on other countries. So now the Supreme Court's taking up this issue. He says he's one of the first presidents to say, I'm going to go sit in the gallery at the Supreme Court. Take a listen.
Are not allowed to use what other people use against us, there's no defense. It'll be a disaster for America. That's why I think I'm going to go to the Supreme Court to watch it. I've not done that, and I had some pretty big cases. I think it's one of the most important cases ever brought, because we will be defenseless against the world. Okay.
Yeah, you can have the Department of War all you want, but if you're not allowed, and this is the thing, people that I'm sorry.
No, go. You're fired up, girl.
People that don't want war, okay, and I understand, we want to play offense. How do you think you play offense with other countries that hate us, that want to destroy us, that don't care anything about being fruitful, about being faithful, about being loving and kind? What do they understand? Their pocketbooks. And I'm talking about the leadership, because it doesn't trickle down to these people's, to the constituents that they serve. Trump understands that the only way that you avoid war is by tugging at people's purse strings. You have to withhold, whether it's through their oil, whether it's through the minerals that they have, or through the tariffs, because they all love to trade and get your dollar. So by trying to cripple Trump in tariffs, you're actually asking for him to have to create war. These people are evil.
And how in the world is first of all, I don't understand how these judges are even coming out of they're operating outside of their lane.
Yeah.
First of all, the judiciary cannot tell the president, the executive, what they can and can't do if it doesn't violate the Constitution. That is why there is a United States Supreme Court. Do you understand? A local judge cannot do that. A local district judge cannot do that. That is not your lane.
Yeah.
You are trying to legislate from the bench. If you want to be in the executive branch, get out of the judiciary and go run for president.
Go run for office, absolutely. Well, and Allie, so we call it the deep state. We've heard about this, right? All these bureaucracies that really are not constitutional, that take a little bit of our freedom every day. They're not part of the three-branch government that the founding fathers authored, right? It's this extended deep state. I really didn't foresee that it was this big of a deal in our judiciary.
Yeah.
But it is. And so now you're going to see the Supreme Court hopefully do the right thing, although there are some Supreme Court justices that we fought hard to make sure that they would get through all the confirmation processes because Trump appointed them, that sometimes are a big old fat disappointment, to be honest.
And honestly, Trump understands these 3 points. right? Like you said, it's about purse strings, but this goes for everybody that is currently in a position of power, right?
Yeah,
that we've
absolutely.
given them. They care about three things. They care about being reelected or being back into the power position that they're in.
Yes.
They care about finances, who's donating to them, how much money's coming in, and they care about press, right? Which is why that's one of the first things that are weaponized. It's either squashed because it's telling the truth, or it's amplified because they're lying to the people. That is what.
Yeah. Oh,
that's we the people, and it goes across the board.
Yeah.
We have to apply our political pressure at the appropriate political pressure points. Those are 3 political pressure points that President Trump understands.
Yes.
And the judiciary understands this, which is why they're trying to stifle him from doing what is necessary in order for us to defend ourselves from the other nations that hate us and want to take complete control.
Well, and Allie, this war machine, the institution of war that we've long had in this country, endless wars. You've heard General Michael Flynn talk about it all the time. What's the solution to that? I mean, they go there and they blow up these towns and these cities. There's tons of civilian casualties. And then, make money off of going in there to rebuild it.
Right.
So Trump's trying a different way, going back really to our founding. How do you think we got so wealthy?
Right.
It was the barter and trade of this nation that we had. And going back to being funded by tariffs, they're trying to deliberately, it's just like the government shutdown. They're going back to try to deliberately handcuff our president.
It's crazy too, because of the tariffs, we're able to fund SNAP, we're able to fund WIC, and we're able to fund our military and our federal first responders. And Schumer and Jeffries are like trying to throw a lawsuit,
I know,
spaghetti to a wall, right? Saying, oh, he's not allowed to do that. What do you mean he's not allowed to do that?
They have egg on their face because I think they thought that this shutdown was going to look really bad on Trump when he was. It's like when you have a savings account because you did what you were supposed to and you put money aside. And I'm not saying that I know this from experience because I don't.
We all know this.
But let's allegedly say that happens. And then people are like, oh, it's getting bad, and you're like, I've got this over here. That's what tariffs were for Trump, right? He saved the WIC program, just as Allie said. But here's another really cool thing that Trump said during this press conference. Those of us, I'm not there. Those of you in San Francisco, first of all, I'm not a fan of your 49ers, but we'll leave that somewhere else. But your streets were iconic once upon a time. Yeah. Lots of beautiful landmarks. I think you might get some federal help coming your way. Take a listen to what Trump had to say.
I talked about crime, but I never knew that we were going to get into it like we did. I used to watch these cities with the murders. Chicago recently had one deal where they had 11 murders in one weekend, and they said, well, yeah, but it was a holiday weekend. They actually told me that was the reason, like it was okay because it was a holiday. It was Labor Day. These people are the worst. They really have to. You better, I tell you what, the people in Chicago and the people in places like that can be fixed. At some point, it gets to where you can't fix it anymore. It's too far gone. And we have some cities like that. But these are great cities that can be fixed. I'm going to be strongly recommending, at the request of government officials, which is always nice, that you start looking at San Francisco. I think we can make San Francisco. There's one of our great cities 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and now it's a mess. And we have great support in San Francisco, so I'd like to recommend that for inclusion, maybe in your...
I was like, I just realized I didn't bring my water bottle.
Oh, no.
My emotional support water bottle's not here. What am I going to do? So possibly you might see National Guard going to San Francisco. It's funny. It's like spring cleaning. It's like when you buy that house and you're going to renovate it because you want to flip it or whatever, and you're like, you peel back the drywall. You're like, what the hell?
That you said that because that's exactly what this is. This is a giant episode of renovating America.
Are we on HGTV right now?
For the America 250 tour.
Oh,
that is what's happening.
You think so?
Yes.
Nice.
Well, not only that though, but seriously, guys, I'm sorry, football mom, I can't.
Football mom, and now she's dragging me into it on Friday.
And legit, I'm gonna have no voice.
I know.
Weekend. It's gonna be all gone. But no, it's not just for America 250. It's really just to just revitalize America. Period. These cities that are in Democrat oppressive strongholds, they have allowed them to go so far down and become completely just run with crime and garbage and just...
I mean, hypodermic needles. We were talking about that in the 80s and 90s. Hey, you know who was running San Francisco then too? Democrats. So they're obviously not concerned with their
There's
constituency.
a guy in Memphis, Tennessee, and he's like, you guys, he's like, Trump, you let the kids are now riding their bikes outside. Before they weren't doing this.
Like when it's like, don't come back till the streetlights are on, like that generation. Can we go back to that? That was fun. You know how you knew that your friends were all getting together without you? Back then, it wasn't because you were blocked. It's because you drove down the street and you're like, why is everybody's bikes at so-and-so's house? And then you're like, oh, because they didn't invite me. I was a little sore about that. Just saying. You know who else had our feelings all in a wad yesterday?
Yes.
So we love
Democrats in Congress.
Go
figure.
We love independent journalists. This is why they tried every way to silence and mute Allie and I, which is why we're so grateful to General Michael Flynn and others at Patriot TV. Thank you, Vic Miller, and all the people that make this possible. But Nancy Pelosi didn't like the fact that an independent journalist put a microphone in her face. Take a listen.
Congresswoman Pelosi, are you at all concerned that the new January 6th committee will find you liable for that day? Are you at all concerned about the new January 6th committee finding you liable for that day? Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know. We still have questions. Thank you.
There's proof that he literally asked for it.
He asked for it. And it's funny, Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, was a part of making sure that whole thing was properly documented. So it is properly documented. That's why we have another committee looking at this. You're going to find out. It's going to be another I told you so moment. She didn't look well there. Well, are they helping her like into the car?
They dyed her hair, I guess. She's got it.
What's wrong with dyeing your hair occasionally?
I'm just saying she's got a new look, so she doesn't look so.
Oh, she's like made over?
Yeah, just a little to, make her look like she's not in a geriatric home.
It's not working. It's not.
Sorry.
I'm gonna put that over here and I'm not gonna pick it up. I didn't bring my water, so there you go. Yeah, Pelosi's not happy.
Mint tea.
And this is why, and the way she says, why are you coming here with these Republican talking points? Do any of you out there, regardless of how you registered to vote, do you have that same question? Do you want to know why President Trump tried to call on the National Guard to be there preemptively on January 6th, and why Nancy Pelosi, being the person who sat in the position to control that decision and give the barking orders, why she did not do that? It doesn't matter what you're registered to vote as. I have a freaking question. Answer the question. You know who doesn't answer questions? People that have something to hide. When have you ever known a political figure to run away from a microphone? You know the microphones they like? The ones that are carefully orchestrated to only feed me the questions that I ask you. We get told this all the time. I'll come on your show. What questions are you going to ask? No. You're going to run for office? I'm going to ask you things off the cuff because you either believe it in here or you're full of it.
Yeah.
And we're going to out that every time.
100%.
That makes me so mad.
Spaces and X Spaces, which if you don't know what X Spaces are, it's like radio for Twitter.
That's
now
good.
known as X.
Yeah.
And we literally have congressional members hop into our spaces just so they can talk to us, because a lot of times they don't get asked the right questions when they are in front of some journalists, and they want to let the people know what exactly that they are doing. And so it's a lot of fun, especially if you are watching Trump Tuesday with Mark Naughton.
Yes.
Pirate Radio and Shell Shocked.
Was that
Those
last
are
night?
amazing.
What we listened to last night?
Manus. It was Pirate Radio. Pirate Radio Q&A.
Okay. It was good.
And then it turned into Manscaping Hour, where we all just joke and have fun, which is good because a lot of times, look,
Manscaping
that's
Hour.
what it's called.
I know.
And there's a story behind it, so I'm not getting into that because it's a different show. But yeah, it's great. It's so much fun because when we deal with serious politics all day long, like sometimes
you need to cleanse the palate.
I think it's absolutely hilarious.
Listen,
that YRs are getting dragged through the mud because of text messages that were leaked with no context. Yet we have an AG who's running in Virginia who literally said in messages that he wanted to put bullets in his opponent's heads. But let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about YRs making fun of Hitler.
We will get there. Listen, we were just talking about Pelosi in January 6th.
Yes, that part.
Well, you want to know what looked an awful lot like an insurrection yesterday?
Yeah.
When the Democrats stormed the Capitol, ripped down signs, knocked things over, went into Speaker Johnson's office again, and they're saying, "Listen, you have to talk to us. We have to talk about this continuing resolution." Guys, listen. There was a time for negotiation. on a
That's done.
continuing
We're not doing it
resolution.
anymore.
We're not doing that anymore. They showed up again yesterday. Was it the 8th or 9th time that they refused to open the government?
9th.
All right.
Today will be the 10th.
Take a listen to Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, telling the story.
Last night, they played some games. They stormed my office. Maybe you saw some of the video online that they themselves shared, or someone did. They berated a Capitol Police officer, screamed at him. He was just merely standing his post. Shows again their disdain for law enforcement, as we see all around the country, the Democrats and everyone in that party screaming, assaulting ICE officers. They did it right here in the Capitol last night. A few members of Congress went into the little foyer of my office and tore down a sign that I had up and just engaged in all sorts of political stunts and antics. They've been doing that every day now, and it shows their desperation. It also shows a very strong contrast between the party that is working for the people and trying to keep the government open and do the right thing, and the party that is engaging in all this nonsense.
Guys, listen, $5 billion in foreign funding to be sent overseas, $5 million for LGBTQ democracy grants in the Balkans, $2 million for feminist democratic principles in Africa, $25 million in Honduras for climate resiliency, $490 million for PBS, $157 million for security for members of Congress, $437 million for the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, $3 million for circumcisions and vasectomies in Zambia. How is any of this?
There's parts of Africa that still. Remember, we were trying to get clean water. Can we start there? What in the
Apparently
world?
air is drinkable.
Well, and here, gonna bypass the AOC comment. This is the part that's really bugging me. They are trying to sell the narrative. If you log into any, which you won't because you're smarter than that, but any mainstream media news cycles, they are trying to say that the Republicans are not there in Washington, D.C., that they're avoiding being met, that they're not there. They just took a vote. They're voting every day. If they're not there, then how are they showing up for the vote? I just don't understand.
I got a couple more because y'all's heads are going to explode. I have to tell you these. 833,000, right, for transgender people in Nepal.
And where?
Nepal.
Is that a thing?
4.2 million for LGBTQ people in the Western Balkans and Uganda. 3.6 million for pastry cooking classes and dance focus groups for male prostitutes in Haiti. 500K for electric buses in Rwanda. 6 million for media organizations for Palestinians.
My goodness.
300,000 for a pride parade in Lesotho. Where is that even at? Do Americans even know where some of these places are?
That your tax dollars are they're trying to send your tax dollars back.
182,000 for social media and mentorship in Serbia. But how much of this money could be used for American people?
Yes.
None of what the Democrats want to spend in this CR or what they want added to the CR benefits Americans. Period. None of it.
So they have the government shut down right now, you guys, because the Republicans will not bend the knee to that. This is what you voted for. And again, I said it yesterday, day before on the show. You're not going to tell me that, in my opinion, the greatest president we've had in this country didn't fly and spend 36 hours negotiating peace in an area that hasn't seen it in 3,000 years, only to come back and think that somehow he's not able to negotiate a CR. He is. He's just at a standstill. They are at a stop guard. This is what you voted for in November of 2024. No more. And again, this CR, this continuing resolution, they voted on it time and time again before Trump was president. It's the same one that Schumer has kicked the can down the road.
Yeah.
If you don't like this, get behind your state or your congressional members, the people that represent you, and tell them to get the budget in order so we don't have these continuing resolutions. Get a budget done. You and I have to live by a budget. Why shouldn't they? If they don't like this, come together. Let's get a budget done. But you know what? They don't want to do that while we have a stronghold in the House and Senate either, because they know that we'll.
And then for those of you that have been in my threads on Instagram,
oh my gosh,
at me, telling me Republicans have a stronghold. You hold the all positions of government. First of all, you need 60 votes in order to pass a CR, and every single Republican has voted to pass the CR. Only Democrats are saying no.
And we need some Democrats to say yes. We do. which tells me how far left the Democratic Party has slid.
Yeah.
They're hijacked by the complete mess of AOC and the most extreme of your party. Guys, if you're a Democrat and you're scratching your head, you either need to jump on board with America First or go save your party. Because again, I said our country does its best when we have two strong common sense parties. This does us no good to have the AOC Socialist Party of America
Well,
as the
and
Democratic
now
Party.
with redistricting, I think the whole map is going to be just blood red.
We'll get to that in a bit too. Now, guys, did you know apparently cartels are working obviously with the leftist organizations, leftist groups. So you have this No Kings protest that's coming this weekend.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Cartels.
I'm Latina. I can't slow down. I
know. Listen, and I did this in our speech. I got Spanglish on everybody because I'm tired of people being like, this black girl knows Spanish. Mira, no me joda, okay? Escúchame. Escuchándome. Cartels. That's gangs.
Yes.
That run drugs and people for money are working with who? With Democrats.
Well, the extreme leftist organizations.
Right.
Take a listen.
Antifa.
5 to 10 grand for kidnapping of ICE agents or Customs and Border Patrol agents, non-lethal assault, $50,000 for the assassination of high-ranking officials.
What?
Here's
the
Greg
assassination of
Bavino.
high-ranking officials?
He works in Chicago.
50K?
Says he had a bounty on his head. Watch.
We've got $50,000 bounties on the heads of federal law enforcement officers. We have criminals ramming vehicles, criminals bringing guns to protests. This is not regular street crime here in Chicago. We have assaults on Border Patrol agents, ICE officers, and our allied law enforcement agencies every day, often multiple times per day. And again, these assaults, the lethality of these assaults is increasing.
How can your officers
bring it back here for a second, Krista? So listen, you're hearing them say right now, that's law enforcement on the ground outside these ICE facilities that are saying, we need help. You've got the Secretary Kristi Noem from the Department of Homeland Security saying she's ready. She's trying to harden these ICE facilities. And then you have somebody legislating from the bench again who comes around and says, you know what, that fence that you want to expand the perimeter around the ICE facility to keep them safe. Take a look at this. Take a look at this, you guys. Following an active judge's order, we've got some footage here, the B-roll footage we want to show. Yeah, an activist judge's order. DHS is now being forced to remove fencing around that same ICE facility in Broadview near Chicago. This comes just days ahead of the No Kings protest and riots that are coming up. This is the judicial tyranny in our country. National Guard is needed now in that area because, again, you're hearing law enforcement and people on the ground saying we need help. We need to push back this perimeter. They did this after the election. They did it all around all of D.C., so you and I couldn't get in there to watch any of the festivities. They're doing it around the ICE facilities now. They put up a fence to help protect our ICE officials.
I honestly don't think they should take it down. I don't think they should take it down. I think they should just ignore the judiciary that is operating outside of their lane.
Hey, you notice who's showing us that? Whose name was that up in the corner? Nick Sorter.
Nick Sorter.
The guy they attacked in Portland?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is wild, you guys. Like it almost feels like it is. We are being attacked by so many different avenues. And this is how radicals take over nations. This is how. And somebody's funding it. I saw videos of prop drops.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Of these animal costumes, hundreds of them being dropped down. You know how expensive those costumes are?
Look at those gas masks that they were handing out.
Those are so expensive.
We couldn't get it. They wanted N95 masks during COVID, and we were told it's too expensive. But somebody's dropping gas masks for these protesters?
And pallets of bricks. You guys remember that? Like, oh, Lord.
Well, you know, we have to keep our eye on this over the weekend, obviously.
Especially No Kings, because that, I think, jumps off on the 18th.
It does, absolutely. Another thing that had us crippled yesterday, we got a report that Pete Hegseth's flight over the Atlantic was being diverted because they had an emergency on board. Take a look at this. This is obviously the Secretary of War home, safe and sound. But
girl,
there was a cracked windshield. I guess they dropped almost
10,000
feet.
Which I'm sure was not fun. especially in a, that's not fun.
My money's on that's not fun.
It's not fun.
If I'm on an airline that won't be named here, I'm asking for a refund. If we're dropping 10,000 feet, I mean, maybe not if we still land safely, but maybe then you're just counting your blessings. But
I was like, I can't take it. I can't take it. Please save Pete Hegseth and because I can't. I will not be okay.
No, absolutely. But Allie, that's true of everybody that I think we have. This was the prayer, at least I know it was my prayer, it was your prayer, it was other people's prayer going into 2024 was, Lord, please remove the people in office that seek to do harm and institute and substitute people that will bend a knee to your will and have the good and moral judgment of you as they lead this country. And we've seen that happen over and over again. You look at Charlie Kirk's memorial, there was more of the gospel and hope and praise going on there.
At his award ceremony, his birthday, the National Day of Freedom, National Day of Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day. It was absolutely amazing.
We are a little bit late, but we wanted to go to a commercial break. We've got so much more to cover, guys. Keep it locked here. We finally got our act together. More open mic after this message.
From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OPENMIC for 10% off your order.
Gold IRA companies are a dime a dozen, especially in conservative media. We vetted out 34 companies and chose Augusta Precious Metals.
With the lowest across-the-board spreads in the gold IRA industry, Augusta saves Americans thousands of dollars.
They are the only major gold IRA company that has zero complaints from their customers. Zero. None.
Augusta Precious Metals does not have commissioned sales reps, which means their goals are aligned with yours.
They were the only gold IRA company that demonstrated integrity and transparency without using gimmicks.
The informative one-on-one web conferences by Augusta Precious Metals answer all of their customers' questions before they make a move.
If you're ready to learn about protecting your wealth and retirement with gold and silver, request your free gold guide from Augusta Precious Metals today.
Visit patriot.tv/gold. That's patriot.tv/gold today.
Welcome back to Open Mic with Allie and Michelle. Guys, thank you so much for listening, tuning in. Make sure you share wherever you're listening from. We want to continue to grow our audience, and thank you especially to our growing, ever large Spotify audience. We're grateful, guys. Just want to touch base on something that's happening, obviously, in New York City. We're watching because this is
3 weeks away.
Nation's eyes are on that mayoral candidate race there. We're basically saying, I don't care what Democrat goes in there. Can it not be Mandami? Because take a listen to what he thinks is sensible. Take a listen.
And realize there's a policy proposal that says your plan, and I'm going to quote it for folks, is to shift the tax burden from overtaxed homeowners in the outer boroughs to more expensive homes in richer and whiter neighborhoods. Explain why you are bringing race into your tax proposal.
That is just a description of what we see right now. It's not driven by race. It's more of an assessment of what neighborhoods are being undertaxed versus overtaxed.
So no plans to change that language on your website.
The focus here is to actually ensure a fair property tax system, and that the use of that language is just an assessment of the neighborhood.
First of all, property tax isn't fair. It's not fair. It never has been. How are you ever going to own your home?
Right, that part.
Second of all, you're going to tell me that language doesn't matter now? That saying that it's a white neighborhood doesn't matter because that's how you see it? I saw a male. But because he was in a dress and I didn't align with calling him a female, I was called many names.
Yep.
It's so funny, Allie.
This
really pisses me off. I'm sorry.
You know, I was in a space last night with, obviously it was Pirate Radio Q&A, and we had a guy from New York after Brandon Strzok came into our space, and he was a supporter of Madami, and we're like, oh. And he's very polite. It wasn't very belligerent at all. He really did try to have good arguments, but every argument was shot down because we're like, socialism doesn't work in a free market. And he's like, oh, he's trying to open up, government-sponsored grocery stores, and he's giving us things that we have never had before, like free healthcare and free childcare and these groceries in these food deserts. Well, first of all, how about, yes, these are real problems, but let's talk about the red tape and the regulations that prevent grocery stores from being in these neighborhoods. There are options, but if it's government run and taxpayers subsidized.
Well, when have you ever known the government to come in and be the solution?
Well, there was a guy that had this really good point, right?
The DMV is one example, I'm just saying.
What is stopping someone from going into this government-run grocery store and taking out an entire shelf of some item and selling it out on the market? And the guy said, well, there really isn't anything. Well, maybe there should be, a police officer or someone that stands there and tells them, that they can't do that. And he says, okay, so your answer to the problem is more government. So now you're going to have a volume police come by and say, you need to show me your papers and tell me that you're actually buying 6 gallons of milk to feed a family of 3 or 4. So now we're asking for proof of who's in your house from government. That's socialism. That's what crippled Cuba. How about you have a conversation with Cuban immigrants?
And Venezuelan immigrants.
I can't.
Again, New York City, we're going to be watching this election coming up, because if you think they're going to stop at New York City, they are not going to stop at New York City. Take a look at this, though. This scared the Jesus out of me.
Scary.
Is this real? Is this real? They're saying that Cuomo is only at 13% there.
Well, that's his fault. That's Cuomo's fault.
I mean, I don't like Cuomo. He killed the elderly by putting COVID patients in with the others that were not healthy.
And Brandon is coming out with several videos today.
Brandon
We're going to repost them.
Okay, good.
They're educational videos, and what he really is trying to do is he's trying to educate those that support Momdami.
But Allie, this is...
And have them change their mind.
Okay, this is, and I'm just going to go back to your traffic comment this morning. This is what happens when people flee New York City and come to these glorious places like Florida. We love you, but are we going to now see another Dearborn, Michigan happen in New York City? And when I tell you that it's not just extremist in economics, what their goal is to push radical Islam and Sharia law in this country. That's not me saying that. That's them saying it. Take a listen to a U.S. Senator candidate. Take a listen.
We need Democrats who have the courage to stand up to the power brokers in our own party, let alone Trump and his goons. We don't back down. We don't back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out.
I think he was talking about people like you and I. I'm just going to go out on it.
Come at me, bro.
Come on. Listen, you see these arms? I would not. I would not. So this is a jihadi candidate for U.S. Senate in Michigan, running for the U.S. Senate in Michigan. Listen, we lost Detroit. We lost Dearborn, Michigan. They are playing outside active Muslim call to prayer, which shouldn't be allowed anywhere in our neighborhoods here in this country.
Those of you that scream separation of church and state.
Where are you? First of all, it's wrong, but where are you? Where are you right now?
Because that is government-sponsored religion.
And again, I want to be very clear, because people, some people are going to make stuff up anyway, but this country allows you to practice whatever religion you'd like, as long as you're not harming your neighbor. You can practice whatever religion you like. You cannot ask for us to adopt a religious set of laws that violate a constitution that we already have in this country.
The law of our land.
That will be next. That will be next. You think the mask to cover your face was for COVID, or was it? Let's see if these women will actually cover their face. Let's see if they'll put a mask on their children. We'll tell them it's for their own safety. That's what they did over in the Middle East, too. They said because men can't handle it, cover up, ladies. I'm sorry. Have you seen how hot it is here in Florida? Try. I can no.
Wait
I will
till
not.
you tune in to CCN on Friday, because Kara is in Florida and I will be damned.
Absolutely not going to happen. So we're just asking for you to please check the ballots in your local area. Stay where you're at and fight not with violence. Fight at the ballot box. Let's get in there and make sure that this type of rhetoric does not get elected into office. We just, you know what, we've got too many serious issues in this country to fight, to have to sit here and fight and explain why we have a constitution. If you don't like our constitution, you could have stayed over in your unfree country where you were.
Right.
You didn't have to come over here. But there is a really big Supreme Court decision that we're waiting to come down the pike. This is, they're hearing right now Louisiana versus, I think it's Calais. I hope I'm saying that correctly. What they're talking right now about is this. It's a Louisiana case where they're trying to redistrict. But they're saying the reason Louisiana districted their state the way they did is because they wanted to make sure that the black vote was represented, the Latino vote probably as well. The fear is that you're going to have senators and representatives representing Louisiana, and that portion of minority will not be properly represented. So get this, they gerrymandered districts based on race. And I thought making decisions, especially government decisions and voting decisions based on race, was not okay. And so I'm scratching my head, and I'm
a civil rights issue. Like, why are we doing this?
And so take a look at this photo here. The Supreme Court is basically signaling right now, I think this is what they're saying, that Section 2, we're talking only about Section 2 in the Voting Rights Act, will actually, if they strike this down, that it will allow Republicans to redraw mostly our southern districts that have been heavily outweighed, probably eliminating 12 or more Democrat-held seats in the House. That gives us quite, hey, you want to talk about that CR that didn't pass? So
it'll pass now.
Well, and you're probably wondering, okay, so wait a minute, this is good for Republicans, not good for Democrats. So what's the other side of the coin saying? Democrats are saying, listen, you can't do this. You can't strike down Section 2 of the Voting Right Act of 1965. Let me explain to you what Section 2 says. Section 2 says that it prohibits voting practices or procedures that discriminate on the basis of race, color, and membership in these large minority group areas. It also says that any state law, so here we're talking about Louisiana, that results in a denial or abridgment of the right of any citizen of the U.S. to vote on account of race or color is illegal. Okay, so in Louisiana, are we telling anybody based on your color that you can't vote?
No.
No. In Louisiana, are we telling you that the voting practices of Louisiana are somehow going to discriminate against you based on color? No. So based on Section 2, how are you able to draw a district line that looks like spaghetti noodles? But you're telling me it's because of race. You are standing in violation of Section 2.
It is going. I think it's going to be struck down. Everybody we've talked to and I've heard speak very much on this that are legal authorities within our group, in our circle of influence, think that it might be a 5-4 decision. Which in favor of striking is
basically, Allie, what this is, it's affirmative action in voting.
It is. It's ridiculous.
And we're not doing this anymore. I want you guys to listen to Harmeet Dillon explain it. She explains it pretty well.
Let's turn to some of your work. I know you were at the Supreme Court this morning. Big case on redistricting. And some of the headlines I saw immediately suggested that Ketanji Brown Jackson, one of the liberal justices among others, is really pushing race in terms of these individual congressional districts, which you and others have been pointing out is not the way this is supposed to be done. What was it like to watch that play out?
Well, it was fascinating. It was a real treat to be there because I was a co-author of the United States' amicus brief, and we saw one of the best, oral advocates in the United States, Hash Mupin of the Solicitor General's office, argue the case for the United States. And they were the prior parties in the case. So the NAACP lawyer came and made the case that Justice Jackson and Justice Sotomayor really liked that argument that we should continue to use racial gerrymandering to fix the problems of the past, even assuming that there's still problems today. And then you saw Louisiana and the other lawyer arguing for the opposite side, arguing different positions, that there should be no role of race or that the court really needed to clarify the role of race. And then the United States' position was a nuanced one, which says that there'll be very rare instances in our jurisprudence where it's appropriate to use.
So you have to ask yourself: does your race belong anywhere in voting.
No.
Our elections should be blind. And here's the other thing.
Absolutely.
I pulled some numbers, and I really couldn't believe, based on when this happened in 1965, they had 85% white. This was just the makeup of our country. 11% black, and 4% was Latino and Asian and others combined.
Right.
Right now in 2025.
Okay. We
right now,
understand.
right now in 2025, 56 or 58% white, with no Hispanic. So now you can see what we're having to do. It's funny. We're so mixed, you guys.
Right.
We're so blessedly mixed that it's like, oh, we don't really have.
In that, it's like Hispanic people come from all different parts of the world and range in shade. Clearly.
Hey, absolutely. And we're so blended. So how are you going to gerrymander these districts based on race when we're no longer just these sole races? You've got almost 20% that is Latino. And then the black community, they're saying, is about 12%. But again, no Hispanic.
Right.
So we're having such a hard time diluting it because we are wonderfully blended. Can I maybe just say maybe problem solved?
Right.
And the fact that they're coming out and saying because somehow you're black, this means you're going to have a harder time getting to vote.
Where's my gavel? I need a gavel.
Because you're black, you're going to have a harder or Latino, you're going to have a harder time voting. Listen, the problem in this country with not showing up to vote is apathy. It's not your skin color.
Oh, took the words right out of my mouth.
Allie, we had fun. We got it. We're late. We got no time. We had fun at our event on Tuesday. Okay, take a look at what we did. We led a bunch of patriots in calling Chucky. Take a look. Sorry, we're going to script to the last one, Krista.
Click on Contact to submit your comments electronically. You may also press any button to leave a message. After the tone, please.
From Open Mic again. You know, we've called you a couple times already. We are in a packed area with, I'm saying, like 400 to 500 patriots. Scream for us, guys. Hey, we got a little thing. We think that maybe your sombrero and Hakeem's sombrero might have been a little too tight the other day, because y'all aren't making a lot of sense anymore. We're asking one thing from you guys. Let's hear it, guys. And open the government. Pass the CR and open the government. Listen, if you're having trouble finding your manhood, you could probably call AOC. She might be able to lend it to you. But we're asking that you just do your job or get out of the way so someone else can do it. We love you. Bye-bye.
That was so much fun. And I honestly want to call out everybody that has a platform. Yeah. Everybody that has an audience. Everybody that's gone to a Trump rally. Everyone that considers themselves to be America first.
Yes.
Please pick up the phone and call Chuck Schumer. Yeah. Tell your audience to wield their political power at this political pressure point.
Yeah.
Right? Call his office. Do you have the phone number? You got it?
I will get it. Hold on.
It's not your recent calls.
Oh, it is in my recent calls. Maybe I don't want to show you my recent calls. No, just kidding. There's absolutely no reason why.
You need to call them.
Here is, okay. He's on my speed dial right here. 202-224-6542. Again, Chucky Schumer, 202-224-6542.
While you're at it, because it seems as though AOC is the one that apparently is holding the balls in her court, so to speak. I think you should also call her office.
Yeah.
And let her know how you feel about the government being shut down.
Absolutely.
And that it needs to be reopened. They need
oh my gosh, it's calling me back.
the CR. They need to pass the CR. Thank you guys
Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't miss us, guys. Tomorrow we're coming live in Orlando from the Moms for Liberty National Summit.
We are going to be at the Moms for Liberty National Summit in Orlando. We're so excited.
We're so excited. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.
Stays on. Red hat stays on. What do you do when the gas is high? Inflation